Brooklyn Bridges has arrived. Like, this man is getting straight buckets. Mikal Bridges has taken a scoring leap, which has seen him become a go-to guy for the Brooklyn Nets after being traded from the Phoenix Suns in the Kevin Durant deal. Bridges has received much more freedom to handle the ball and have plays called for him. In Phoenix, he did operate in a system where he was labeled the 3-and-D guy, but with a closer inspection to Bridges in Phoenix, he had the tools to be a reliable two-way player. Bridges in Phoenix was a reliable three-point shooter, a career 38% three-point shooter, and was one of the best cutters in the league. Bridges was so good in an off-ball role, operating off of a Chris Paul and Devin Booker. His many face cuts to where he would burn defenses looking away from him as he cuts right in front of them and gets an easy look at the rim. He was skilled with his cuts, effectively timing when to cut inside, made the Suns a much more efficient offense with Bridges on the floor. He is one of the best at reading his defender's positioning, so if his defender is in a position of help and they can't see both Bridges and the ball, Bridges is going to get a back cut every time and dunking it home. And this season, where the Suns had injury bugs, Bridges was entrusted to take over some of the scoring duties, kind of just building on his game more. The Suns look to tap in more into Bridges' ball handling ability, and that honestly has been one of the biggest developments in his game, his control of the ball in his hands and how he is able to break down defenses, ease into moves, and make plays. Bridges operates at a much more higher usage, 28.7% in Brooklyn this year, while in Phoenix he operated at just 19.2%. In Brooklyn, he is averaging through 16 games, 26 points, 2.6 assists, and 3.6 rebounds on 50% field goal shooting and 44% three-point shooting. 26 points being averaged by a guy who is just seen as a 3-and-D player is kind of ridiculous. His efficiency has been one of the things that made him a really good role player in Phoenix, as he excelled in an off-ball role. With Brooklyn so far, he has a 63% true shooting, continuing on his efficiency while taking on more of the ball handling role. The Nets really are doubling down on Bridges and just are allowing him to build on his game more in Brooklyn, as well as giving him the green light to be more aggressive on his attacks. The mid-range has been an underrated and key part of his game, to where he can effectively pull up or get around inside the free throw line area and get shots off. In Phoenix, I truly believe this part of his game separated him from that 3-and-D label, because even though he was a reliable spot-up shooter, there were times Bridges could put the ball down, get a bit closer to the rim, and get off a mid-range shot, or come off of down screens and get a mid-range shot off. There were signs that this was a big part of his game that he was comfortable in, and something that could be leaned on if tasked to be more of a go-to scorer. According to Cleaning the Glass, Bridges is shooting 47% from the mid-range with the Brooklyn Nets, and mid-range shooting makes up majority of his scoring. 47% frequency he operates at in these situations. He shoots 45% on pull-up twos, and this has been something where he is growing to where he is knowing his spots and getting into his shots cleanly. He's quick to flow into his pull-ups. He can start his attacks with a quick hard drive going left and quick plant his feet, get on balance, and flow into his shot. How he gets into his pull-ups quickly is very similar to KD in a way, to where it doesn't matter where on the floor he is, he can rise up off the ground and just get into that shot. His shooting form is really tough to block also, or contest. Has a high set point, really good and consistent mechanics to where his shot looks the same every time he shoots it. His wingspan really helps him in that regard. Usually it's tough to contest players with long arms, and it's given Bridges that confidence to say, hey, I can shoot over anyone. The control on the ball is really opening up things for him, and he is building on pick and roll opportunities. He has a solid handle. I really do want to see how much he will grow with the types of coverages he sees. Right now, he is a big threat to attack drop coverage or switches when a weaker defender is on him. He has flashed the ability to post up smaller guys at times. I just wonder, with how much on-ball reps he gets, how will he handle traps or aggressive hedges. He has upped his drives to 8.1 drives a game, a career high for him. Even though the lowest frequency of his scoring game at 21%, he finishes around the basket at 67% with the Nets per Cleaning the Glass. I still don't feel like teams are really game plan for him to be a true slashing threat, as the quick first step or burst just isn't there for him. But the mid-range shooting has been a substitute to at least make defenses think about their approach. Bridges has enough in the bag to be a consistent shot creator. Now, the playmaking is something that will have to develop further. He could be a reliable connector, and when he is creating or driving, he's able to just notice where help is coming from at times and finding the open man. Bridges does have a solid handle enough to get from point A to point B, to where he can get to his spots on the court for a mid-range shot, but he isn't an explosive athlete who can explode with a quick first step off the dribble, which makes me wonder how much would teams worry about him on his drives. There's not much quick change of directions to his drives or shiftiness, which can limit him. He does have a tendency to pick up his dribble early, not keeping it alive or being able to navigate through tough spaces. In the situation he is in right now, he isn't tasked to be the main playmaker. That's more on the shoulders of Spencer Dinwiddie, while he looks to get more into his scoring, but can make the easy reads or make reads within a set play. The control, balance on drives, and at times now with the drives being able to initiate, sometimes absorb contact and draw fouls, have been really impressive. 6.4 free throw attempts with the Nets, which is by far the most free throw attempts he has seen over the course of his career. Bridges is showing more and more that he can keep his efficiency and excel as a 3-level scorer while handling a bigger scoring load and even operating off of off-ball movement. He still holds true to his techniques that he did for the most part in Phoenix, still proves to be an effective cutter, closeout attacker, and being able to run out in space and transition in a year where we've seen a guy like Lauri Markkanen burst out into a star, staying true to his role player techniques and building on his scoring games to be a go-to scorer for the Jazz. We are seeing the same in Mikal Bridges at just 26 years old, soon entering his prime. He's been a fun guy to watch develop, and we are seeing him now climb to being the guy and responding to that. The Suns laid out the groundwork to see Bridges succeed, and now, given the keys to a team in Brooklyn, Bridges is thriving. He's just been a pleasure to watch develop, and he is seeing the fruits of his hard work develop further with the Nets, and with a little more polish on his handle and exploring more of his pull-up three-point shooting game, he can be a problem, either a first or second option for this Nets team. Brooklyn Bridges has arrived, but do you think he can be a reliable go-to guy on a competing team? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe if you dig the breakdown. With all that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.